Hello students of grade 6, this is Ma'am Abigail, and in this unit you are going to learn about things you like to do, see, have and eat, and it contains passages and poems about colors and seasons. Before we start a lesson, I want you to spend a few minutes making a list of your favorite possessions. Then consider which ones are really the most important to you and reduce it to three items. Now choose the most precious item and write down some adjectives to describe it. What are adjectives? Adjectives are words that describe noun. Adjectives can be used to describe color, opinion, size, age, shape, origin, materials, distance, temperature, and time. For example, the green bag. Here, the adjective green describes the color of the bag, which is a noun. As you can see in text 3a, my favorite thing is a song lyric from the musical, later movie musical, The Sound of Music. The lyrics refers to things Maria loves. If you can, try to download the song and listen to it. Let's look at the following phrases from the song. Bright copper kettles, warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages, blue satin sashes. Here, copper, woolen, paper, and satin are placed next to the noun. Here are some general rules for using adjectives: opinion, size, shape, age, color, nationality, substance should go in order. For example, the beautiful, large, rectangular, ancient, pink, Indian silk rug. However, we don't usually use more than three adjectives in a row. So, the main thing to remember is that size, shape, and age go before the color, and the color goes before where the things come from and what it is made of. For instance, big square, modern blue house. And lastly, don't forget to put a comma between each of the adjectives. Syllable. Syllable is the sound of a vowel that is created while pronouncing the vowel A, E, I, O, U and their combination. The number of times that you hear the sound of a vowel is the number of syllables in a word. For example, bat, one syllable; apple, two syllables; coconut, three syllables. If we look at the first line of the song lyric, we find that there are 11 syllables. For example, raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. Meter. It gives a poem or song its unique rhythm. It has two main parts. Firstly, number of syllables in each line. Secondly, which syllable sounds stronger than the other. Now, when a syllable is stressed, remember these 3 points. It is longer in duration, higher in speech, louder in volume. Alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sound at the beginning of its neighboring word. The alliteration used in the song lyrics are cream-colored, few, favorite. Assonance. Assonance is the repetition of a vowel sound in stressed syllable in neighboring words. For example, white winters, warm woolen, paper packages. Rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is the pattern of rhymes at the end of each line of a poem or song, whereas rhyme words are words with the same sound, usually at the end of a line. Some other poetic devices used are internal rhyme, near half rhyme, hyperbole, or I rhyme. Internal rhyme is a rhyme within a line. Near or half rhyme refers to slight or inaccurate repetition of sound. Hyperbole, an obvious and deliberate exaggeration. I rhyme are words that look like they rhyme but they do not. The theme of the next part of the unit, containing text 3b and 3d, is food. Skim and read text 3b on page 28, then scan, read it all over again. It's a good idea to skim it quickly to get a sense of what the text is all about and to get the gist of it. You also need to notice which words you don't know the meaning of so that you can look them up in a dictionary or ask someone. When you are clear about the content and their meaning, then you are ready to look at the question, followed by rereading of the passage. The second time you read, you should scan for the information and underline the relevant idea when you find them. After reading text 3b, you are feeling hungry and you decide to cook some pasta for yourself. You have found a recipe in text 3c on a cooking website, but you notice that it won't work. You need to sequence the instruction in order so that the recipe can be followed properly. Now, what is a recipe? A recipe is a set of instructions producing a certain dish. In order to duplicate a desired preparation, it is necessary to have a precise record of ingredients, their amount, and the way in which they are combined and cooked. While writing your recipe, make sure to start each sentence with an imperative verb or command verb and keep the sentence short and simple. There are four types of vocabulary: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. A menu uses a reading vocabulary. The grammar in menus are also distinctive. Let's have a look at one of them. Pad Thai, a delicious, delicate Thai dish of succulent stir-fried rice and noodles, blended with egg, tender bean sprouts, rosy shrimp, roast peanuts, and spicy seasonings. The adjectives like fried, tender, rosy, roast are used to make the menu be recognized easily by an individual. The biggest elements of any good restaurant are its images, color, font, description, and length, making it sound very appealing to its appetite. Descriptive language means using appropriate words that are clear, specific, and appealing to all the senses in just the right way to describe as to what is seen to a person who cannot see. Here are some examples of descriptive words. There are four psychological primary colors: red, yellow, green, and blue, and they are many people's favorite color because they relate respectively to the body, the mind, the emotion, and the essential balance between these three. Look at the advertisement here. It depicts a group of young people of various ethnicities and nationalities wearing Benetton clothing and having a good time. The colors used in the photograph, text 3E, makes the products seem more desirable because it is creative and grabs attention at a single glance, gives a message in a very clear and concise manner. The text gives us simple and uses real information, influential, and has a good visualization. In buying such products, one buys not only a thing but also an image, which consists of belief and hope in something better, celebrating racial unity and conveying a message of love, peace, joy, and harmony. What are compound adjectives? Compound adjectives are made up of two or more words, usually written with hyphens between them. They may be qualitative classifying or color adjectives. Examples of compound color adjectives are blood red, royal blue, bottle green, sky blue, mint green, etc. Read the poem in text 3F entitled Gray. The writer uses metaphor by comparing the feelings and emotions with images that color gray is associated with. For example, if we look at the poem, we see that the gray is compared to the end of the day with ancient head full of wisdom and to the cave the wave in the corner, factory chimney, angry sea, prison war, etc. So here, as you know that the color gray has no direct psychological properties. It is, however, quite suppressive. Gray color usually indicates lack of energy, confidence, fear of exposure, and depression. The theme of the next part of the unit is favorite seasons and times of the day and year. In text 3G, page 34, is an informal letter from a Chinese student, Hong Wei, to his pen friend Noor, describing his favorite day of the year. As you can see that the letter has been divided into three parts, namely introduction, main body, and conclusion. I want you to read the letter and find out how Hong Wei describes in detail about his favorite day. As we have discussed earlier about descriptive words, let's find out what is a descriptive poetry. Descriptive poetry is a poem that uses detailed words to create imaginary of a person, object, or animal, illustrating strong feelings such as love or pain. It shows one's intensity of the feeling through experiences. This is a poem by a child about her favorite season. You'll notice as you read the poem that it is full of colors, example crimson hue, mellow, golden, rose red, etc. The layout of poem refers to the way the text looks on the page. The font size or type, indentation and alignments, space between verses or stanzas, length of the verses or stanzas. And the text features are the elements in the text such as capitalization, punctuation, word spacing. The poet, unlike other writers, are not always expected to follow the rules of capitalization and punctuation. The sound effects always have a specific function in a poem. For example, Helen Mackay uses various kinds of sound made by the wind from the autumn leaves. Example, whirling, swirling, twirling. So the poetic device here is assonance because there is repetition of vowel sound in stressed syllable. Here's another poem about another child's favorite time of the day, and it talks about the other activities done by nature in the evening using descriptive words and images, and it also uses compound color adjectives like fiery red, making it more specific. My Perfect Day Text 3J is a reflective writing, a personal account for use by an individual for his or her own need, giving one's own thoughts and opinions. It's a way to explore learning as it responds to new information and gives an opportunity to gain knowledge and achieve clarity and understanding. My Perfect Day is written in chronological order. It uses time reference such as morning, lunchtime, afternoon, and at the end of the day, adding a piece of structure. It divides the paragraph, which shows a change of time, place, and action. As you can see that there is a change of paragraph of each part of the day. The key features of reflective writing are personal account of ourselves, not descriptive but reflective, writes in first person narrative, try and reflect one thing at a time, reflect objectively, and revisit your writing. The contraction id can mean I would or I had. We can often tell if I'd means I would or I had by simply looking at the context of the sentence. However, if we are not sure, we must look at the grammatical form which follows the contraction D. The contraction D can be had or would. Look at the table below for better understanding. Till then, stay home, stay safe.